Some of you are listening to this while driving to a showing. Some of you are folding laundry. Some of you are walking the dog or sitting in your car before going inside the house. And if I asked you a very honest question right now, it would be this: does your business actually feel peaceful to live inside? Not successful, not productive, peaceful. Because if your business requires constant urgency, constant availability, and constant emotional energy to keep running, then eventually something gives: your nervous system, your family, your health, your faith. And that is exactly why we started this season with one simple idea: peace is the real KPI. Every conversation we had this season was really asking one question: what does it look like to lead your real estate business from peace instead of pressure? Today is the final episode of season one of the RealTea with Sheena G. And before we move forward, we are going to slow down and revisit what that really means. Imagine tomorrow morning for a moment, before the notifications, before the emails, before the client messages start coming in, just a quiet room, 10 or 15 minutes with God. No urgency, no problem solving, no reacting, just grounding yourself in the source of your wisdom before the day begins. That small window of quiet has become one of the most important leadership practices in my own life. Because when you start your day from peace, you stop letting urgency decide how you lead. And that one shift can change the entire tone of your business. Now, let's reflect on this season together for a moment. Season one was never about teaching more tactics, it was about recognition, recognizing the pace many women in real estate are keeping, recognizing emotional labor, recognizing how often high capacity agents carry the emotional temperature of every single deal. We talked about pace. We talked about peace. We talked about identity. We talked about the differences between caring for your clients and carrying their entire experience in your body. And if you've been listening week after week, something inside you probably started shifting. Maybe you noticed how quickly you respond to every message. Maybe you notice how often you bring client conversations home with you. Maybe you notice how your nervous system feels after a full day of negotiations, showing requests, inspection reports, and anxious buyers. Season one was about learning to see that clearly because you cannot change what you have not recognized. Recognition is always the first step. When I say peace is the real KPI, I'm not talking about doing less work. I'm talking about building leadership that is sustainable. Peace is not passive. Peace is infrastructure. It is the environment where wisdom lives. It is a place where your decisions become clear. It is a thing that allows your business to support your life instead of quietly consuming it. If your business only works when you are constantly reacting, calming people down, solving everything immediately, and absorbing everyone's emotions, then the system is not holding the business. You are. And eventually, that becomes too heavy. I remember a season not too long ago when I was in the middle of a really heavy stretch. Multiple things were happening at once. And one morning I woke up, and before I even reached for my phone, I just stopped. I sat in the quiet. I prayed. I asked God for clarity instead of reaching for urgency. And that day, when a difficult situation came up, I responded differently than I would have 3 months before. I did not spiral. I did not react from a place of anxiety. I led from a place of groundedness. And I knew in that moment that quiet time was not a luxury, it was a leadership practice. Because when I start my day grounded with God, I stop letting urgency run my decisions. I stop reacting to every notification. I started responding with clarity instead. And slowly, my business started reflecting that peace too. Before we talk about what comes next, I want to say thank you. Thank you for listening to the first season. Thank you for being willing to pause and reflect instead of just chasing the next tactic. Because the women who build sustainable businesses are the women who are willing to do this kind of inner work first. This season has really been about becoming. becoming more aware, becoming more grounded, becoming the kind of leader who builds with intention instead of urgency. And if you've been walking through these conversations with me, you are already doing that work, and that matters. Season one, I helped you see what you have been carrying. Season two will help you decide what to keep, what to put down, and what to build instead. Because eventually, recognition leads to another question. If I do not want my business to run this way anymore, what do I need to build instead? That is where we are headed next. Season two of The Real Tea begins on April 21st. And in the next season, we are going to start translating everything we recognized in this season into structure. Not systems for hustle, not system for scale at all costs. We are going to talk about boundaries as blueprints, systems as scaffolding, and peace as the foundation you build everything else on. Season one was recognition. Season two is construction. Over the past few months, I've been listening closely to your feedback, watching which conversations resonated, seeing what people want more of, and something became very clear. These conversations need a place to continue. That place is the Leverage Lounge. The Lounge is a community for real estate agents who want to build businesses that actually support their lives, their families, and their faith. Inside the lounge, we continue the reflection through something I call the aftertea, where we take each podcast episode and go deeper. We ask harder questions, we journal, we sit with the work. Because insight is powerful, but integration is where change actually happens. For agents who want more structured guidance, there is also Journey to Clarity, designed for women who are ready for more intentional support around leadership, systems, and designing a business that protects their peace. And beginning April 7th, we will open the Leverage Circle, a smaller, deeper container for agents who are ready to implement the systems and leadership structure that allow their business to run without their nervous system being the infrastructure. Each level simply meets you where you are, whether you are reflecting, clarifying, or building. If you want to start somewhere simple this week, start here. 10 to 15 minutes of quiet time with God in the morning before the notifications, before the emails, before the real estate conversations begin. Just quiet, just prayer, just grounding yourself. That one practice has been one of the most powerful shifts in my own leadership, and it might be the simplest place for you to begin protecting your peace too. If you want to continue these conversations with us, you are welcome inside the Leverage Lounge. Doors are open right now. Inside the lounge, you'll find the season one after tea reflections, so you can walk through this inner work at your own pace before season two begins on April 21st. Community, reflection, deeper leadership conversations for agents who want to build businesses that feel calm, clear, and sustainable. The link is in the show notes whenever you're ready. No pressure, just an open door. Let's close this season together. God, thank you for every woman listening today. You see the responsibility she carries. You see the leadership she walks in every single day. Give her wisdom to build her business in a way that protects her peace. Remind her that she does not have to prove her value through exhaustion. Guide her decisions, guard her energy, and meet her in the quiet moments she creates with you every morning. Amen. Season one of The Real Tea was about recognition. Season two will be about construction. But today, remember this. Peace is still the KPI. Thank you for walking through this season with me. I will see you on April 21st for the beginning of season two. Take care of yourself out there.